spirit, but they're spirit on a little lower level than God. They're not as great as God, and they don't have minds as great as God. Then man has a spirit. And I found in the book of Job and elsewhere in the Bible that there is a spirit in man. And that man could not know the things that a man knows and have human knowledge except by the spirit of man that is in him. So there is a spirit in that soul, and the soul is made out of matter. And the soul is mortal. But the spirit gives to the physical brain the power of intellect. And pretty soon I began to find that the Bible explained why the minds that can produce such awesome results today still can't solve their problems. The problems are spiritual. In man, we have trouble, and all the troubles in this world are caused by a spirit in one brain clashing with the spirit in another brain. As long as man deals only with matter and material substance, he does pretty well, and we have done very well. We've sent men to the moon and back. We put unmanned spacecraft on the surface of Mars and sent back photographs. So I began to find that the Bible explains why we have that paradox in this world. And to make a long story short, I came to find out my wife was right, and that so many of the churches do not preach what comes out of the Bible, but just the exact antithesis, the very opposite. They have drifted away from the Bible, and the Bible is the Word of God. That is the Word of God. And finally, I had to eat crow. I didn't want to. It wasn't anything I wanted. But I found that Jesus Christ said the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. And therefore, the Son of Man, or Jesus Christ, is Lord of the Sabbath day. And the Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week, according to the Bible. So that is the Lord's day. Now, it was made for man. I look back in the book of Genesis. We find the creation chapter in chapter 1 of Genesis in the beginning of the Bible. And in Genesis, the second chapter, we find that after he had worked the 6 days, that God rested the seventh day and put a blessing on that day and set it apart for holy use and purpose, because he had rested on that day and because it pointed right back to creation, and creation is the proof of God to keep us in the knowledge of who the true God actually is after all. I found the Sabbath was all the way through the Bible. I found in the New Testament, let me see, that was in, I believe, the 18th chapter of Acts. The Apostle Paul sent just to the Gentiles. And some people say that all the law was done away. Paul was preaching to the Gentiles on the Sabbath day for a year and a half, only to Gentiles after he turned away from the Jews. Jesus Christ kept the Sabbath. The early apostles and the church kept the Sabbath day. Now then, what is the church of God? I haven't had time to go into that in this program. Let me send you a booklet. Where is the true church? I have a copy right here. Where is the one true church? Jesus Christ said in Matthew 16, in verse 18, I will build my church. And he didn't say churches. And we find all kinds of churches in different denominations. He said, I will build my church. There's only one church. Where is that true church today? I'd like to give this to you gratis, no charge, no obligation. Then here's another book, since I've mentioned about the Sabbath. That was the question I had to look up. I didn't have time to go into very much on it. There's a very lot in the Bible about it. Which day is the Christian Sabbath of the New Testament? Is it Sunday? And is Sunday the Lord's day? And how did that get started? Let me send you this booklet. If you're not afraid to have your eyes opened, I certainly had my eyes opened. I wondered, where is the true church? I had to find it. But here is on the Christian Sabbath, and the booklet on where is the true church. Where is the true church? Now also, once again, those of you who have not received the booklet that we've been offering for 50 years now and more, The United States and Britain in Prophecy. Over 3.5 million people have requested this booklet, and they find it as an eye-opener, and it shows you where the United States is mentioned in the Bible prophecies again and again and again, and it shows you what prophecy says is going to happen to the United States in the very next few years now. It's going to happen to you. You want to know what you're going to live through? You need this booklet if you are not one who already has received it. The United States in Prophecy. So write in for one of those, and we'll give you a year's subscription to the Plain Truth, the finest magazine published in the world. It has a circulation larger than any news magazine, and it is a news magazine. It has a circulation larger than almost any family magazine or human interest magazine, and it is that too. And it carries the plain truth. And there's no subscription price, and it carries no advertising. It's not commercial in any sense at all. It's just packed full of marvelous articles, right up to date. It's one of the greatest magazines in all the world. Now, you just send your request to me, Herbert W. Armstrong, at Pasadena, California. Herbert W. Armstrong, Pasadena, California. The zip is 91123, or many people would rather just go to the telephone and get it immediately. So go to the telephone, and there's a free call. You dial 1, then 800-423-4444. 800, then 423-4444. And so until next time, this is Herbert W. Armstrong. Goodbye, friends.
For the free literature offered on this program, write Herbert W. Armstrong, Pasadena, California, 91123.